All right, let's go. Good morning, guys. Welcome to Khong Driving. We are about to start our journey to our hill climb, and we are in the Honda City RS Hatchback. And this is the first time, or one of the few times, that we're going to start stationary, because I want to explain a little bit about this car. This City Hatchback RS is actually a hybrid by definition, but Honda has taken the hybrid the next level. Yes, it's still a combination of battery or electric motor operation and an engine operation. But where Honda has gone one step further is this car always starts off in electric mode, and there is a 109 PS electric motor that develops 253 Newton meters of torque. Now that's the torque that is equivalent to say a 1.4 liter turbo engine. So it's very powerful, and from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, the car is basically running on the electric motor. Of course, it's a hybrid, so the battery is quite small, and if it runs out of juice, then the engine will be charging. But most of the time when you are driving, the engine may be running or may not be running. But the main job of the engine, up to 100 or 110 kilometers per hour, is basically to charge the battery. And as you accelerate more, the engine will also accelerate to recharge the battery more. The whole idea is to give you enough juice to run your motor. Okay, so we'll start off, and here we are. Here we go. We are starting off in electric mode. It goes up to 16, 19, 24. Okay, around 20 odd kilometers per hour to 30, it will turn off. Okay, we started off in EV mode, and around 30 kilometers per hour, the EV mode goes off. Okay, I'm going to turn off the light so you can see me better. And now you can hear as I accelerate, it's the motor that's driving the car with 253 Newton meters of torque, but the engine also accelerates to recharge the battery as quickly as possible. So they've designed it to give it that sense of feeling of acceleration. Yeah. Now what happens is, after 110 or around there, the engineers discovered that actually it is more economical to run the engine, or rather the engine runs the car far better than electric motor can, and so the engine will take over. So below a certain speed, it is the motor running, and above a certain speed, it is the engine running. But in between, you also get instances where the engine comes in to help, yeah, to push for more power. So it's a bit complicated, but everything is run by the car system, and you don't have much say in how it happens except by your foot throttle. Yeah, your foot on the throttle determines how much juice you generate, how much fuel you use. But there is an econ mode, which makes it more economical, and there is also a non-econ mode. There is no sport mode, and there is a couple of shift pedals, but the shift pedals are mainly for retardation of the engine. So you can help by shifting the minus pedal when you are under braking. That helps to up the charging rate, but by upping the charging rate, it also retards the engine, so that's a bit of engine braking. And there's a lever here on the gear lever. You can go down to B, and in that position, it helps with additional retardation. I'm not sure whether we should use B or normal D, but we'll try normal D going up the mountain. Now, having said that, let me just reiterate that Honda built this car for fuel economy. It's a hybrid. It's supposed to give you like fantastic fuel consumption, something like 3-point-something liters per 100 kilometers or something like that, if you drive it the proper way. So our hill climb is purely for fun. Now, if you drive it very normally, you'll find that the car is actually quite silent. But if you push it, of course, the engine is revving harder to try to charge up the battery, yeah? And also, as you exceed 100 over kilometers per hour, the engine is running the car, and I'm not sure whether that will retard the power a little bit, but I think we have to go on the left, yes. So we're not quite sure how this will handle on the mountain, but let's go. Okay, I've turned the VSA, which is the stability assist, off. I've turned the lane keep and lane departure warning off. I've turned off the collision warning and also the collision mitigation, and I've turned off VSA. Yep. So everything is off, and we are just climbing up the mountain, and we just got overtaken by a very fast bike. Okay, so you'll find that the engine is working very hard to charge up the battery so that we can continue to get the 253 Newton meters of torque. And this motorbike just changed lane. Okay, never mind. We will follow him. Okay, thank you. So we are relying totally on the automatic transmission. Oh no. Bikers changing lanes. Okay, we have a McPherson strut in front, and torsion beam at the back seems to handle quite okay. This car is about an inch higher than the sedan. Just being careful. Okay, so we're here at the first roundabout and we are moving on to part 2. So how did it feel in this first part? Okay, first things first, drink water. Okay, the initial spurt when you start off at low speed is very good because that's where the 253 Newton meters will work very well. But I think at the higher end, when the engine takes over, you get a lot less. I'm not sure if the motor still helps. Well, according to the explanation by them, the motor still helps in the acceleration when required. That is, I suppose that is when you go full throttle and if there's any charge left in the battery, that is, because the system always reserves a bit of power for restart, you know, so there's a certain minimum that they will hold back and not give you everything, I think. But anyway, the car is still quite fun to drive. It handles very well. So if you ask me, is it faster than the standard 1.5 liter with 121 PS? Yes, it is. It is faster, but yes, it's faster. The engine is just as loud because it is revving hard to try to charge back the battery. So that's why it's hard. That's why it sounds loud. But if you are driving very normally, you'll be a lot softer, I assure you. Okay, it has ESS. Okay, let's take the second part, starting now. Okay, what do I miss the most? I miss the pedal shifters. because without the pedal shifters you can't shift down, and you only have to rely on that one gear. But actually there's only one gear up to a certain speed. You know why? Because it's the electric motor that's driving the car, and the engine is just charging up the electric motor. So this is the 253 Newton meters of torque working, and you can feel actually that the car is actually going very well. Yeah, that's the new line round that corner, and you actually have to go quite close to the wall at the left. Dog on the road. Okay, safe. wow, not bad. Actually, the car is, surprisingly, it did very, very well. Hey, this is a one-way street. What's he doing this way? Alright guys, that was the Honda City Hatchback RS. Was it nice? Yes, it was. Is it more powerful than the standard 1.5 liter engine? Yes, it is. Now, the engine in this car is slightly different. It's also 1.5 liter, but it's built on the Atkinson cycle, and this is for fuel economy. I repeat, yeah, this car is made for fuel economy. And look at it, we are going down the hill and we are an easy throttle, and it is very, very silent. Only when you push it, the sound comes. I think most cars are like that, yeah. And the Atkinson cycle engine only delivers 98 PS and 127 Newton meters of torque, whereas the electric motor that helps it has 109 PS. Yeah, it's more powerful, and it has 253 Newton meters of torque. So as I said earlier, the main drive to this car is through the electric motor, and the engine has the main function of charging up the batteries to support this electric motor. And that is why Honda talks about the 253 Newton meters of torque, because that is what actually propels the car. However, above a certain speed, I think it's around 110 kilometers per hour, the Honda engineers discovered that, hey, let's not push the electric motor because it really doesn't help anymore. It is more economical to switch to the engine. So the system will switch to the engine automatically, and it will push the car along with the 127 Newton meters of torque and the 98 PS. I'm not sure if the motor still comes in to help every now and then, but maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But overall, how did the car feel? Yes, it felt good, and it is quite enjoyable driving because it is not as sluggish as the normally aspirated engine. Definitely the hybrid system does boost up the power because of the additional boost from the motor, yeah. And so this makes the car a little bit more fun to drive. Now, what I don't like about the car is that it doesn't have the pedal shifters as per se. So you cannot actually shift down when, sorry, because this is two-way traffic. So you cannot shift down when you're coming to a bend, and you can't use the pedal shifters to really help you to drive through with more control. All they do is they just regulate the amount of retardation, yeah. So it does help a little bit, but not very much, because I didn't go on to B. And under normal mode, nah, they're pretty much of just for show only, yeah. Maybe it works a little bit, but I couldn't really feel the difference. So that's what I miss about the car. And of course, there is no sport mode, and there is an econ button, and it's either on or off. Of course, I cannot blame the car maker for doing this, because, mind you guys, this is a car built for fuel economy. So maybe later we'll do a fuel economy run to just show you how well it does. So that's about it, guys, for our drive up Genting in the Honda City RS hatchback. Thanks very much for being with us, and don't forget to subscribe. And of course, if you need to buy the car, please do contact us at shop.yskhongdriving.com or send us a WhatsApp at 016-335-0609. Right, guys, till we meet again in the next video. Bye bye.